So right now you see ES is still just shifting lower. NASDAQ doing the same thing. A little bit of bottom wick there. Again, all of these red lines we're seeing are just prior pivots. That's it. Nothing crazy. Prior pivots. It shows you the extraordinary support that we are entering here. Rejected the 50% fib rollover. They are still buying an obsessive amount of puts and selling all of the calls. We have 1.03 billion of calls sold, 1.1 billion puts purchased. We have liquidity down to 69.40 on down. Right here. Let's go take a look at JP Morgan. Boom, boom, boom. JP Morgan, at the moment, getting wrecked. So extreme top wick that happened up there at 336. Massive engulfing candle yesterday, and then selling off again today. So not looking good for the banks, of course, especially when Trump coming out and said that they're going to cap interest at 10%. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I'm sure the banks aren't going to like that because they can't farm their cattle if they cap their interest rate at 10%. We are the cattle, of course. Moo. Moo. ES is coming off 69.45. Has the UBS silver short made worldwide news yet? I haven't seen anything on it, which makes me think it's not true. I'm sure somebody just posted that on Twitter to kind of drum up a lot of drama. But if that were actually the case, I think that would be on the financial news, CNBC, that type of stuff. Can y'all hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Can y'all hear me now? JP, I'm trying to say it's bad for consumers. Yeah, of course they do. What are the two things that are starting to happen? People are starting to open their eyes in America. What are the two things? All we are is interest payers and taxpayers. That's all we are. All the other nonsense, the progressive political stances, all that nonsense, doesn't matter. They don't care about that. All we are is taxpayers and interest payers. The banks and the government is all we're here for. We're just a farm. We're a different type of cattle. We're a different type of cattle. Probably don't taste as good, though. I don't know. You'd have to ask Jeffrey Dahmer. 1 billion of put and calls sold. 1.2 billion puts purchased. The S&P still rolling over here. 69.43. Coming down to 69.40. We have a little bottom wick there. $69.43. UBS being insanely short on SI has been hypothesized by Wall Street bets for years now. Interesting. Put the lotion in the basket. They are still selling calls, buying puts here. I don't see a lot of liquidity shifting. The book is extremely light. Extremely light, one way or another. Not much on the book whatsoever. The CVD is kind of trending back towards green here. I would make a tough steak. Liz on my, oh yeah. Got that Wagyu. It's that Wagyu meat right there. They're starting to ladder in some liquidity up to 90 or 65, 69, 65, 20 points back up. Don't know if they're going to do that or not, but they are starting to put it there. You have to maintain a little bit of awareness for that. They're starting to bolster 69.15 here too. I'm really keeping a close eye. CVD is going to mean more to me today than the liquidity is so light. It's hard to really, focus on the liquidity until I get an outlier level. The CVD is going to tell me a lot. If they start tanking that CVD over and show aggregate selling, I'll compile a decision here, and we'll go from there. And we're just going to do something. The second time the SCOTUS has not issued a decision on tariffs. U.S. freezes all visa processing indefinitely for 75 countries. NASDAQ is chilling. Silver going nice and green. How much pain do you think silver's causing right now? How much pain do you think silver's causing around the world? And you know, not to be too pessimistic, but a lot of joy too. I'm sure that a lot of people who are they're watching their net worth go exponential right now. How do I read Bookmap? Bookmap is a visual aid for a visual way to represent book order flow on the book. So to me, I'm just watching where the whole application for me for Bookmap is where are they stacking liquidity. If they're going to stack one liquidity one way or another, that's where I want to really focus my attention on. And on days where there is no liquidity, it's not going to give me much of an edge. But those days where they're stacking thousands of orders at a particular level, then I can really begin to exploit that. I can anticipate the move towards that level and play accordingly. It's all about the skew. You know, I apply options analytics the same way. Where is the majority of the positioning for the market? I try to keep things as simple as possible. Somebody a long time ago told me to keep it simple, stupid. And at first I just thought they were being mean, hurt my feels. But now, you know, obviously, that's the way I want to do things. Keep things super simple. Silver's just going, baby. Silver going 92 today. What you think? 93? 93. It's going, baby. It's going. Silver put on an extraordinary 3C bounce. An extraordinary 3C bounce. That's how you clean up messes. Yeah, baby. Silver's going to 99.99. Yeah. Is somebody clipping their nails? No, I'm popping a pen. I apologize. So, apologize. I'll stop. I like to fiddle with stuff. NASDAQ still ain't bouncing yet. That's right, jukebox. That's right. Name checks out. Although name doesn't check out. And I thought you would like singing with your name. Use your kid's 3D printer to print some fidget toys. I mean, I don't think we're that level yet. I don't think we're at that level yet. Coming off here, top wick red. Man, they're still buying calls, selling puts here. Liquidity is very light. All right, large sweeping red candle, 557. ES still can't put on a bounce, but surprise, surprise, no volume, right? We had volume spike here that put on a bounce. I'm going to switch my screen real quick. We have volume spike here that put on a bounce. This market rolled over. No volume spikes. So no surprise we're not getting a bounce yet. Question for everybody. When one of your accounts crosses the below a threshold, do you try to change anything with your strategy to get back to no? I don't even know what the rest of that sentence says, but I'm going to hard no. I like to improve my defense for this when this happens. Usually I go into panic mode and really do. No. Look how much money I've made the past month. Obviously my system's working. If next week I get destroyed every single day, does that mean that my system no longer works? No, it's just conditions have slightly shifted and I need to adjust the way I look at things, but my system stays exactly the same. Maybe I'm trying to constantly buy the dip on a sell-off market or something like that. So rule number one is you don't change your system ever. Number two, to kind of augment that statement, any changes you do make does not need to be during the session. It needs to be on the weekends, at nighttime, when you're reflecting, when you've had a chance to cool off, when you've already punched 3 holes in the drywall, and now you can kind of cool off a little bit because you've let some of that healthy, toxic testosterone out of your body. So as you're going to Lowe's to buy some drywall mud to fix it, you can kind of walk through the aisles of Lowe's and think about what you did with your system and what you need to do to change it. But never do anything during the session, and don't structurally change your system. Just, hey, I keep trying to buy the dip. Like, that's not good. By the way, I just got a notification that SPX crossed 6,900, which is risk off negative gamma mode for the S&P. See this orange line that we've defended now since January 5th? Yeah, we just crossed it. We just crossed it. Which means no bueno. If you are a bull in this market, you better be praying right now because it's about to get bad. 1.5 billion puts sold, or puts purchased, 1 billion calls sold. Straight down. There's no liquidity on the books. CVD is flat. NASDAQ's getting wrecked. Volume's coming in. Silver is still chilling at the highs. NASDAQ is just pain, baby. Pain. All the way down. Next up is 455, which is a micro pivot. After that, 265. 265. Let's see if they defend 6,900 at all. They better, otherwise it's going to be bad. They're going to wreck so many people. We're finally smoking the trend line. I think short-term bear market. Can you post a picture of it? I don't have a trend line plotted. Do you mind? 1.07 billion calls sold, 1.38 billion puts purchased. We have big liquidity coming on at 32. Boom. NASDAQ getting smoked. Love it. No volume spikes yet. We have a minor volume spike, but that is not enough to stop this freight train. You need a big volume spike. Otherwise, stay short bias, baby. This is extraordinary. So being new to prop firm trading, what happens when I meet my evaluation goal? Minus 50K with a 3 carry target. How many? Well, TPT, for example, it takes you 5 days. So if you've done that in 1 day, we need to pump the brakes a little bit. If you've done it no more than $1,500 in a single session, then you're fine. You just have to kind of do the check the box style stuff. All right, NASDAQ is getting wrecked all the way over. Huge red move. This is beautiful, baby. Look at the puts. Look at the calls. Everything's bearish. Now we're coming on down to 455. Now, you want a scalpable trade? 455 is your huckleberry. No, I'm sorry. 265 will be your huckleberry. 455, meh. It'll be decent, but it might give you something small. But that's not a level I would front run. I would front run 265. I would not front run 455. Smoked that trend line. Nice, J-Dog. Appreciate you. Roaring Brewski. Good stuff. Thank you. Still coming off 487. Very bearish. There's nothing on the book whatsoever, higher or lower. ES has got 69.12. We have an insane amount of put buying call selling. I need to put this in the hero channel. Boom. 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 And dropping. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. All the way down, baby. $482. $482. If they take this, there we go, 479, 455 will be next if they can hold it. Big bottom wick so far. A little bit of volume here on the 5-minute candle. Now, here's the question you need to ask yourself. In the 3C system, because we are 3C traders, right? Do I have, which one? I have this on. We're 3C traders. Right now, your 3C entry is 570. That's 100 points higher from here. Do you want to wait for an entire 3C to take a long position? See, that's the nuance of the third C that I talk about. That's the stuff that goes through my mind here. Is do I want to wait for a 100-point bounce to take a position if this does bounce? No. I want to be in quicker. So it's all about environmental. What does the environment support? If I see everything starting to bounce, if I see a tremendous amount of calls being sold, puts being sold, or calls being purchased, if I see the order book lifting, if I see everything like Nvidia starting to pop, I may go ahead and take a position. Now, having said that, yeah, like what J-Dog said, there's no signs of buying right now. That doesn't mean just go ahead and start popping in long positions. I'm just saying, if you get an aggressive wick, if you get an aggressive amount of volume, if everything starts to change, then and only then will I front run. Until then, short bias because everything's getting demolished. Everything's getting demolished. Know what I mean, Vern? 455 coming down. 470. Just about every time we close over the VIX 18, volatility goes crazy. I love it, and it's coming down, ain't you, baby? Yeah. Look, we're still sliding here. There's no bounces. There's no bottom wicks. There's no volume spikes to speak of. There's a very minor one, but it got wrecked. Top wick galore. We have liquidity down to 69.12, and the S&P NASDAQ has virtually nothing on the book whatsoever. CVD is incredibly red, so as of the yet, this is a short indication. There's a short indication. Was anything decided about the tariffs? Negative. They have they passed the buck on the tariff so far. I just finished the trade, but I had to come back and say I was right about the SC decision. Nice 50 Colt. I love it, buddy. I love it. Well done. Is Hero like last week? Right now, it's the opposite of last week. Last week was it was a put selling, call buying. This week so far has been riddled with a lot of put buying, call selling. So a little bit of different change of structure there for the markets. A little bit of change of structure there for the markets. So far, we have a bottom wick on NASDAQ 25, 486. Well, I just lost my competition account on TPT. I was using too much size and trying to trade MCG and MQ2 and MNQ simultaneously. What was your main? I guess you identified your main mistake there is the too much size there, but yeah, just make notes, baby. You know, I know that sucks. Trust me, I've been there. I've blown 3 pro accounts the past 2 weeks, so I feel you. Just make notes. Figure out what you did wrong. Don't make the same mistake twice. $69.37. Silver just got wrecked, large red. NASDAQ is putting on an itty bitty little small green. On the 1 minute, we had some supportive volume into 455. I said 455 might give you a small, quick scalp position. Never quite got there yet. Got down to 470. The CVD is going very green on the S&P. It's going straight up. So interesting. 5,000 CVD green. It's hard to trade two at the same time. It's very difficult, especially such big products. Gold and NASDAQ are big boy products, and trading two at the same time is like trying to fight the two crazy dudes out back at the bar at the same time. It's hard to do it. You better be on your game if you're going to fight them at the same time. There you go, big green. Puts are being sold, calls are being purchased. Volume. Volume. Right there. Well, Grandma showed up on her gravy train with biscuit wheels and smoked those crazy guys who were fighting out back. 100% she did. Grandma was jacked to the gills today. We have OPEX on Friday, by the way, people. So what does that mean for Manana? Manana's Thursday. Can I short MNQ and long ES? No. Top step, I don't think so you can. No. You can't do anything hedging like that. It's considered hedging. NASDAQ just got wrecked. Top wick. Silver just got... Oh, man. Look at that bounce. Look at this bounces on silver. That is nasty. To the point you just made about not changing strategy, I shorted MNQ according to the system and made 50% daily goal on TS. Nice. Man, that volume bounce is nuts on silver. Silver just is just the Energizer Bunny. Keep on going. Look at that. Big liquidity just came on the book. Let me show you this. Change. They're going to fill that in top tick. Look at that right here. 800 lot just came on at 69.40. So that's the pull right now. Another 5 points up on ES. $69.40 is the pull. They're going to come up and tap that, give a little tap-tap-a-roni. There we go. Blasteroni absorb that 36.25, and they're going to go to 40. Watch it. See them building? You see them building it? They're going to absorb that 69.40. Look, it's even building with liquidity. 800, 810, 806, 807. And then you'll have a top tick. We'll absorb that price action. We're taking so long on Iran, I wonder if Trump is planning a kidnapping of, yeah. Is YouTube sound off? No, it's on. Can y'all hear me on YouTube? Can y'all hear me on the tube? A little bit of red. On Discord, I can't ever see the gamma. Am I doing something wrong? What do you mean? 3250. Yes, 693250. YouTube's good? Yeah, nice. Oh, man. What do we got? 786 million calls. 32.25. Very slow. I said a DM a few days ago, and my screen only shows your chart, like not YouTube. Where do I see the hero? Oh, if you're on Discord, you're only going to see one thing at a time. I don't have the ability to trade multiple things. If you're on YouTube, you can see a couple of different things. That's why I switch back and forth. NASDAQ is still chilling. Your warning there just got me out of my long. Nice. Out back to the woodshed. It's quiet for a while. I have to be very careful about the things I say about Iran. There goes ES. Oh man. No, 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 no. NQ 50-day SMA is also 25450. Nice. Silver is kind of chillaxing at 91.80. Another top tick here. That's 3-time test at 91.8. How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet they take out 91.85? People trying to short this triple top, and they're going to go back up to 92 or so. ES is still chilling at 33. Any out of the money outliers? The only thing I see on Bookmap right now is this 40. They have about 800 lots sitting right here at 40, and they took off 15. So I could see them grabbing that 40. You know, back in high school, we played a game called Edward 40 Hands. You ever seen the movie Edward Scissorhands? We played a game called Edward 40 Hands. We'd go to the grocery store and buy 40-ounce beers, and we would tape them to our hands. You have to tape them, so you couldn't put them down until they were done. So you'd have 2 40-ounce beers taped to your hands. We did a lot of stupid stuff in high school. A lot of stupid stuff. Terrible game when you have to be, yeah. Was I an old E guy? I don't remember what kind of beer I bought with the 40s. It's one of the reasons I don't drink anymore. I do stupid stuff. Edward 6940. Colt 45 is what they usually wear, yeah. Couldn't PT, finished them. It's terrible. All right, here comes NASDAQ. Here comes ES, 69.35, going to 40, if we can get there. Let's go, baby. Steel Reserve. I remember some Steel Reserve. Oh, man. I saw a story yesterday about a guy who just shot his wife and kid over an NFL game because he was drunk. Are you kidding me? Over stupid football? A bunch of grown men throwing a ball around? What a bunch of nonsense. They are slamming the calls, man. They're slamming the calls. They just pulled that 40 liquidity, but they're about to tap it, so there's that pull. That's how I use Bookmap right there. The skewed pull up to 40. I bet you sports betting was involved. Yeah. They got to 850. They pulled that liquidity at 40, but that's already done the damage. Looked like I was right. They did try to shake everyone out there. Put some power hour. Didn't shake me out. I had 3, baby. Nice. Well done, Abolish Joke. I'm glad you got some money out of that. Fantastic. I made a tweet yesterday. Man, I was... Ooh, look at that. Here comes the move up to 37, 38. Here comes 40. They're about to take it. Safe life repair. Safe life replace. There we go. Silver is just a freaking monster, dude. You're a freaking monster. Call buying, put selling. Silver is absorbing 91.8. It's not rejecting thrice yet. Oh, now that I say that, a little bit of red. We'll see. Still going. You see this, of course. We've got the trend line. I'm sure everyone sees. You've got the triple top rejection area here. Higher, you got the opening price, which is here. You've got volume coming in a little bit, not much. NASDAQ rejected. Look, ES hit the 69.40 area, pulled the liquidity, top tick back over. I'm bored today, and that's a good thing. I'll tell you what, man, I'm enjoying today's session a lot because I'm not, I stuck to my guns here. I'm taking it easy, taking a couple of small trades here and there. I'm just kind of inching it in there. I'm inching it in here. So after yesterday, man, had a bit of an existential crisis this past weekend. We killed the deer last deer because it's the last day of the season. So we killed the deer, and I processed the deer, and I've got all the parts out, and I took the heart out, and we're talking to the kids about the heart, and I'm like, this right here is what keeps you alive. This little bitty piece of meat is what keeps you alive. And the second this thing stops beating, that's it. And you're looking at this thing. It's just a hunk of meat. Like, this is what keeps us alive. Kind of scares you a little bit. Calling game like a pro. I like it, Twizzy. I like it. Do you proceed to take a big bite out of it? No, we cooked it. Chop it up. I didn't do the whole, Game of Thrones thing where you just start gnawing on it. That in the brain, which is even more sensitive. Yeah, it's crazy. Silver's chilling, 69.77. Gotta make the kids drink some blood. Yeah. U.S. citizens should leave Iran immediately. Consider departing Iran by land. Do not rely on the government to get you out. We are a miracle of creation. It's insane. What does it taste like? Organ meat like that is very irony. It's got a lot of iron. Fried liver tastes like dirt. Its heart is not quite is like that. If it's cooked properly, it's actually quite delicious. $25,497. What's up, Wesley? How you doing? cousin just got engaged to an Iranian. Really cool dude. Feel bad for the normal people. Yeah. Liver with green bell peppers and pineapple. Interesting. Never tried that. Silver's starting to have a little top tick. NASDAQ and ES are just chilling. You and me both, brother. You and me both, Wesley. Feels like we're going to 265. I tell you what, man, if we do, that'll be a fantastic position. Fantastic position. Do I see ES going up today? Well, we already had a couple of nice bounces, and they failed both of them here, and we're not putting on a secondary bounce. So, I don't know, maybe. We have another amount of liquidity coming on. I think that cat, whoever that was, took it off, put it back on at 36 or so. And we're just going to watch, baby. We are just going to watch. $33. Call buying, put selling here. We've got that. Oh, look at that liquidity up at 69.70. Ascending triangle on silver. I mean, it's definitely putting on that type of pattern. Yeah. But here's the thing. You see when it breaks the pattern? When it does stuff like this, that tells me it's ready to go higher. Because the sellers don't have enough strength to get it away from this level and finally put on a dump down to 90.08. So if they recapture this red block, I'd put a pretty good likelihood on 92.2. So we'll see. Now they just took this liquidity off on ES and they stuck it to 69.70, which is 35 points higher. So that changes the game a little bit. We do have some call buying, put selling on the options. So yeah. Keep an eye out, and there goes the big green on the S&P. Right there. Any buying Netflix dip? No. Another big red smash on NASDAQ and ES. Spoofing, J-Dog, spoofing. $69.35.5. ES is getting smashed. NASDAQ is getting smashed. Yeah, smashed is a hard word. Top ticked. $25,497. Wonder what they're going to do here. $69.36. Whole bunch of liquidity, baby. 6965, 6970. We have 500 million of calls, and they're coming on the books. We have bottom wicks. Took off that liquidity up top. Liquidity's been pulled, so they are spoofing a bunch of liquidity here, so that's not good. That's not good. Retest of opening range? Looks like it. Anyone bet on the tariff news? No. I'm sure someone did, but I guess a lot of people on Polymarket lost. Watch silver. Silver's absorbing the 91.8. Keep an eye there. Might be time to buy Bitcoin. I have a DCA of 1984 on INTC. I see the price target just got raised on it. It's still booming. What would you look for? I mean, heck, man. I was a big believer in INTC for a long time. In fact, I held INTC shares, and once they a long time ago when they suspended their dividends, I no longer had confidence in the position. But then, of course, they reinstated it, and Trump says everything's great, and they said they're going to buy some INTC, and it went nuts. That has now happened to me twice, by the way. So I think the name of the game here is just don't sell positions, because I sold my Palantir. Look what happened. I sold INTC. Look what happened. Of course, those were not tradable. Those are not trades. Those were investments, investment positions. And I made money on them, just not as much as I could have. The daily chart looks insane, by the way, on NASDAQ. It looks terrible, terrible for the buyers. Terrible. In general, people who win at stock market forget they had stocks. Yeah. Or the people who bought Berkshire Hathaway in the 80s for $2,000 a share. I thought about buying one of their shares back in coronavirus when it dumped to like 190,000. I thought about buying one. Wish I would have. There's been so much opportunity the past 5 years that I put on some fantastic investments and trades, and I still feel like I missed a lot because there's so much out there. 400 million of calls sold here. That's up from 1.3 billion. I keep watching this cat come on and off the books. It's the same quantity, so I would assume it's the same entity. We had 40 come on and off. We had 36 come on and off. We had 70 come on and off. All the same quantity. So that's him. He's probably stuck in a long position. He's trying to bid the market up. Would you say if we're likely to go higher in the S&P, we would have to run the lows first? Well, given this, yeah, the fact that the volume to stop the selling was very minimal. The fact that we've refused to put in a 3C on the 5-minute tells me that, yeah, it looks like we're going to have to go lower before we go higher, if that's the case. You bought a bunch of BRKB? Nice. Man, Phil, you're just killing it, dude. This guy's killing it. That's right, McGabagooly. ES is still drifting to 40. We have a bunch of call buying, put selling. The options is trending towards bullishness. This is that middle of the day stuff where price action gets a little bit slower, a little bit more questionable. Sold some gold, look what happens. Yeah, that's a hard one though. Just think about the concept of gold though. Let's look at gold for the future aspect. We're always making more people. There's going to be, 8 billion people, 10 billion, 15 billion people, eventually 20 billion people. And although I guess you could say theoretically, the price of gold is, that gold is not necessarily, it's obviously not infinite, but there's always seems to be a steady supply through, mining and operations. We don't seem to be running out of gold anytime soon. However, the supply is very much constricted. So what do you think that, from the natural laws of supply and demand, what does that do to the price of gold? Always, forever. It's always going to be on the steady uptrain as the demand goes up. ES and NASDAQ both climbing nicely. There's 69.40. We just wiped it. Now we're still going. Calls are being pounded. Puts right there. Just creeping. I'm not in any positions right now. I've already got my pound of flesh in. Silver, of course, is doing this. They're absorbing. You see this little trend line right here. But I think silver is going to go back up and test 92.17 based on this. I passed my first eval on TPT, TakeProfitTrader. It took 6 days and played for 1 or 2 micros each. Targets are met for the day, so I'm going to go out about my day. I love it. Hey, that's fantastic, Tennessee Ball fan. 1 or 2 micros each, 6 days. It's amazing stuff. That's how you do it right there. That is how you do it. NASDAQ climbing. There we go. ES is bouncing nicely. Call buying. We are now back almost to positive deltas on calls. So you can't keep this market down, man. Silver just bounced again, 691.86, still holding. They're absorbing this liquidity. This red block here is all that liquidity, the sell side liquidity. And now we've had 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejection, and the 4th move, the 4th attempt hasn't rejected yet. We're still chilling. And the longer we stay in this, the longer we are going to risk going to 92. Russell's been flying all morning. It's crazy. NASDAQ is starting to pound. ES 69.50 squeezing right now, baby. And it's just going. Look at the call buying here. You can't keep this market down. 343 million. No, I'm sorry, 100 million of calls purchased. That is a 1.3 billion call change right there. That's amazing, amazing stuff. Well done, math, well done. I think we have one person left with the $1,000 giveaway. One person left in the running. And we're going to start another one, baby. We're going to start another one. You're done when I say we're done. I've continued to notice that the crypto market is a leading indicator. You think? Maybe I need to pay attention more to that. Hero for the win again. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. It's going up all pre-market into the day. Interesting. Had a long chat with Grok last night about my execution inefficiencies and stop loss placements. It has some good tips for me. Interesting. Is the giveaway just for Discord? Yes, it is. Just for the Discord. NASDAQ new high or on this little move here. We're retesting the 570 area. Retesting the 570 area. The train keeps going, baby. The train keeps going. Right off the 570, SR flip, red sweeping candles. I love to see it. I'm out 125% of my daily goal. Nice math. Right off the 5.7. Same on the reverse. On all days. Equities pumping up. I like it. Gonna get in this leg day before the degen trading hours. I like it, J-Dog. Now's the time to hit the gym, baby. Now is the time to hit the gym. $69.52.5 bottom wick. 12.24 today. On what? Silver rejected. Trend line. NASDAQ is going. I need to turn the morning range back on too. I change the color of these things because it. Let's make them light blue, I guess. There you go. You figure once the USB covering stops, the bids disappear on silver for a little anyway. If that's actually happening, the UBS, yeah, definitely. Look, NASDAQ is pumping, baby. Same exact thing as yesterday. This continues to happen. These just absolute relentless pumps. It's beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. It makes trading very, very democratic. One way or another. 270 million calls purchased, 552 million puts sold. We have volume coming in. Right there. Volume spike on this candle. Volume spike on the candle. Volume spike on the candle. Why do chickens only make one noise? Dude, I know not to ruin your joke, but I have learned that chickens make a lot of different noises. But why? Because they can't think outside the box. Oh my gosh. I love it. That is excellent. An excellent joke. All right, top wicket here on NASDAQ. ES, we have a little higher volume on NASDAQ there, but NASDAQ, 1 minute. Still going. Thank you. 25, 590 and going. Here we go, 590. The 3Cs keep saving me from catching falling knives. I came across your channel in December. It's a fantastic journey since then. Losses are small, learning to use volume. I love it, Michael. I appreciate the kind words, buddy, and I'm super happy that it's helping you. I firmly believe that the 3Cs and volume trading is extraordinary for the trader who's either new or just is inconsistent. Because learning to identify volume spikes is huge in the market, and it'll do nothing but help you. Even if you just incorporate volume alone into your current system, I think it'll drastically help you. If OMCOs get a hell shake right now, it'll 100% happen. S1. It's going, baby. Anyway, I'm past my 11:30 time frame there, so unfortunately I do have to wrap up the stream. If you have any questions about anything about the system, me, what we talked about today, then please throw me a DM in the Discord channel. You can come join us tomorrow morning, or any other day for that matter, in the Options Millionaire Discord server. In my opinion, arguably one of the best servers out there. Otherwise, I will see you back Wednesday, if you don't want to do that, in the Bookmap stream for another Bookmap stream at 10:30 or 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern. So until next week, I'm out. See ya.